show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Thursday! Yeah! Ready to rock and roll! How y'all doing out there? Let's make it happen. Scallywags, nutmeggers, and of course you haters. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. I want to thank the haters out there. Show them some love. I was told today, in a phone call that I have with someone I haven't talked to in a while, I was told today, Reese, you do not know how many black people hate your show. Sorry. I laughed when they said it, too. Sorry. I don't know why. I have no idea. Like, for some reason, that's the funniest thing to me. But anyway. And my response to that is, yeah, and? Like, let me put it to you this way. And I say this about anyone. It's not just black folks who listen to radio or anything like that. It's nothing to do with that. It's anyone. Look at it this way. Imagine this in your heart of hearts. Let's say you had a sibling who made the worst choices in their lives. I mean, the worst. Not just not like decisions like life making or breaking decisions. Simple stuff like dating the wrong individual, right? Maybe even falling for a few silly scams. Not very responsible with money. Questionable behaviors. Not that they were all out reckless individuals, but sometimes they do things that make you go, I don't know if I would do that. Are you sure that's safe? And their response to it is, that's just the way I'm built. And you would see that behavior again, making poor decisions, and then often regretting them. And then this person that you've seen make these decisions all your life, then criticize you about what you believe and what you think. Imagine that person having the audacity, the unmitigated gall to criticize you when they have absolutely nothing to show for it. So when someone says to me, you know how many black people hate your show, I go, yeah, I consider the source. I'm not trying to win their fandom. Like the premise is off. It's at least to suggest that I care about that boy. Like, if you think I'm sitting here with Roland and with Janine when we have our weekly meeting, which, by the way, we asked for. It's not our program director. We asked for that. To sit and have a powwow with her to let her know what we're doing so she's not, caught off guard. Also, so she has plausible deniability in the event that we do something crazy. But do you think that we sit in our meeting, Roland and I, and go, we're losing the blacks? No one has ever walked up to me with the numbers and go, listen, you're bleeding, Hartford. I don't care. I don't care. I don't. And that's what irks them. The person I was talking to on the phone, I don't care, and that drives them crazy. because that's the bullying tactic. The bullying tactic, and it's on the left, too. It's the bullying tactic. You are not in our good graces. You are MAGA, or you are a Nazi, or you are a traitor. These things are done to shame you. Again, funny how you can't shame anything that they do, but they use shame as a form of retaliation. That's why they're screaming in the street, shame, shame, shame. And they think that works. It may work on some. Some people are really annoyed at that, and annoyed at the idea that people say those things about them. So they go into hiding. They go, yeah, I don't want to talk about politics, man, because people at my job might know, and my neighbors might be listening. And I get it. I get it. Never ever bring the heat if you don't want it, and you shouldn't have to. By the way, I'm not of that ilk that says, no, you take on some of this stuff like the rest of us. Nope, 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 nope. That is your choice. I believe in your freedom of it. But I'm just here to tell you that's what I'm here for. I'll take the heat for you. I know you're out there. I know you're frustrated. The job is like, it's like the warrior coming out and fighting, the bad guys or the demons that are coming at him. And then he stands there proud with his sword. And he looks back at the villagers. It's safe to come out now. We've made it safe. Everyone, return to the village. We've slain the dragon. I'm sorry. Anyway, my point is, I don't care. You can't please everyone. I learned that a long time ago. No one is going to be happy with me. And you have to learn to embrace those who do. Yeah, what you got? What you got, Roland?
Shame. 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 Shame.
That's exactly it. It doesn't work. Just so you understand that, you were never going to like the show. And this show's authenticity, Reese on the radio's authenticity, will never be jeopardized by a bunch of people who've decided they don't like me. I don't care. And this narcissist behavior that because you don't like me or because you don't like my politics is supposed to be paramount to me. Well, this person don't like you. And this person is whom? Do you really think that you're that important? That your opinion of me is so important that I'm sitting idly by going to Roseanne and saying, yeah, Roseanne, I got a phone call today, and this guy said he doesn't like me. I have to sit down and collect myself and figure out what I'm going to do. I really want him to like me. What do you think? What do you think I should do? I'm sorry. I apologize. Stop it. Just stop it. It's really crazy. I also get this thing that, I won't criticize Donald Trump. So? What would it matter that I criticize Donald Trump? What would it matter? I know that's become a thing. Eric Erickson, he does it with glee. Every day. I don't agree with the president on this. I don't agree with the president. They've turned it into a cottage industry now. For what? So that people can say, see, he disagrees with him. Why won't you? I don't want to. I don't feel like it. I don't see any reason for it. Disagree with him for what? If I disagree, what does that mean? Like, in the grand scheme of things, what does it mean? Is it curry favor with you? Okay. Then I have to ask the obvious question. Who are you? Don't make it about me. I'm going to say what I say, and if it sounds like I'm promoting the president and his ideals, deal with it. I'm not going to do this show the way that you want to. Do you? If you want to disagree with the president, do it all day. Write yourself a letter. Send yourself an email. Tell your friends, I disagree with Donald Trump today. But demanding that I do it, I mean, seriously, what kind of credibility would I have if I start moving and shaping myself as the wind blows, like some sort of weather vane? Donald Trump, for me, is a troll for the left on this network. See, I use him as the ultimate troll to expose your insanity. Everything Donald Trump does makes you nuts, and I know it. And when you tell me the thing that makes you crazy, I rattle it in your face, right at you. It's Donald Trump right there, and you can't help yourself. You lose your mind. You are the easiest people to manipulate. How do I know that? It's because everything you get from television, you repeat. Every attitude you're supposed to have, according to the network or the media outfit you follow, you carbon copy. So because I know what you're listening to, because I know who you view and you trust, I use that against you. And it makes you mad. And not mad in a sense, but like Mad Hatter mad, insane, crazy. I'm your puppet master, but not in a good way. I'm the one that sends you into convulsions. I'm the one that gives you conniptions. I rule you. You do not understand the kind of power that is. And you do not understand how sadistic I am with it. I know you're going to go crazy because you don't have another setting. You are not pragmatic. You are not practical. You do not think. You are not reflective. You are not introspective. You are mind-numb robots. And while you enjoy being controlled by the left and having them tell you what to celebrate and what to ostracize, it turns out that I have a remote control to your very will, too. Because I'm watching them, telling you how to behave, what to say, what to repeat, what to think is very valuable to a guy like me. Coming to this program, you might as well have shown up to the island of Dr. Moreau, because I'm going to twist all of you into a pretzel. So I don't care whether or not you hate the show. I don't care whether or not you think that I am a tool or someone who just keeps promoting the President of the United States. You're not in control here. I am. Think about that. You have no control. And you never did. Because you let them control you. And until you start thinking for yourself, until you start thinking for yourself, you will always be controlled by the good, the bad, and the ugly. This show is not about whether or not I promote Donald Trump. It isn't about whether or not I'm conservative or Democrat. This show is about thinking. I present you with something. I tell you what I think about it. I don't get so high on my own horse to think that what I think about it is omnipotent and beyond reproach. I ask you to think. If you're not interested in that, hate all you want. But I'm not Eric Erickson. That's his show. This is Reese on the radio. If you're new here, welcome. If you're leaving, don't let the door hit you on the rump. People can't believe that I actually say that. If you don't want to stay, don't. Go. This show isn't for people who want to have their news or their ideas fed to them. The show's for people who want to think, who want to have conversations, who want to challenge themselves, like I have to do every day. So come along for the ride, or not. We'll see you in the funny papers. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the radio.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
It drives me crazy with this camera bit. I try to keep it out of everybody's way, but apparently it just does. We had to actually redo the whole arm today. The whole thing was like discombobulated. The camera was on the table. It was a whole mess. It was so much different when I was doing it at home in Texas. I walk in, set up, be ready to go. Just how it goes. Oh, man, James, I'm sorry that the break was too long for you, buddy, but call back. I'm sure you was somebody who wanted to call about the opening monologue, which I got a lot of responses to. I always try to explain to folks that, you really have to understand dreamers. And this is something that I didn't get until a lot later in my life. I don't like telling people that I have a lot of humility because it sounds like I don't. I am always humbled by, you don't have to tell people that, they know it. I don't like compliments. People talk about how great the show is, and I really do respect that they do. Thank you so much for that. But it's an uncomfortable feeling. Why? Because I know how egos work, and I've seen egos work. I've been around it, and I'm deathly afraid. My own fear, personally, is that some way I start believing my own hype because I've seen it in others. And I'm not the type of person that sees stuff in others and just goes, that could never be me. I'm very fearful that I will ever become that person. And so I'm very standoffish about people who give me praise because I'm just like, I know that can deceive people into thinking that they are unstoppable. And that's where that comes from. My uncomfortableness, if I can describe it that way, is about that. I don't want to, like so many people say it, and I just go, thank you. I really, really appreciate that. And I only want that to be the fuel that makes me better. That's the way I want to use it. It's like temptation. That's the way I view it. So, anyway, I'm going off. Anyway, so dreamers. I was a kid growing up who had one dream, and that was to be here, to do this. I didn't know when it would come, how it would come, or when it would be successful, but I knew that I just wanted to be here. Like, what I am doing is my lifelong dream. And I get to live it every day. If you guys understood what it was like to be away from this mic on Saturday and Sunday, you would think I was crazy. It is worse than an addiction. I love this job. love it. It is everything. I like Roseanne, too. No, I'm kidding. I love my wife. But my wife knows this is nothing better than that for me, for this kid, this streamer. Because I grew up in a way that dreams were always light years away. I was told that by everybody. I was told that every day growing up as a young black kid. Every day, someone telling you, you're not going to be able to do that. No one's going to let you do that. That's impossible for somebody like you. You're a poor black kid from Hollis, Queens. That's not for us. We don't do that. We get in where we fit in. We do what we can, and we make it get by. It didn't matter how many people I saw who were being successes. They were the exception, you know? Or there was always some excuse. Oh, the white man paying him. He only do what the white man say, so he a sellout. You want to get what he get out, you got to compromise your principles, brother. I apologize. Sometimes when I do the whole black scent, I make myself chuckle. It's a personal thing. So imagine you tell that to a 15-year-old kid. And it's not coming from strangers or teachers. No, it's coming from your family members, people you trust, people who have your best interest at heart, or so you would think. And why would they tell you that? And the reason why they told you was, I didn't want to get your hopes up. You know, because if you fail, you know, you never come back for that. You know, you're wallowing in self-pity, and then you're on drugs, and you're alcoholic, and then your life goes to ruin. I just don't want you to hurt yourself. Damn! Damn! So I was a dreamer who had everything thrown at him. 15 years old. The one thing I want to do in my life is be on the radio. Don't know how to do it, but that's what I want to be. And all of a sudden I'm kicked out. I'm on the street. 3 years. Again, with the knowledge of it's never going to happen for you, kid. You're always going to be poor and broke, kid. You're always going to be poor, broke, and black, kid. Look at you. You live on the street. You got to pack groceries for pennies just to make a measly $35 a day. You're sleeping on a staircase, kid. You're never going to make it, kid. And I'm saying to myself, what? What am I supposed to do with this? So imagine you find a way to make it. 15 years later, you get your first gig in radio, 30 years old. And you turn that from an internship, from a writer, you turn that into an on-air position. And you do that and you turn it into your own show. And then you end up here. And then someone comes to you after all of that and tells you, do it this way now. And I go, where the hell were you when I was sleeping on the staircase? Where were you when I was packing bags for pennies? Where were you when I was cold, riding on the F train from 179th Street in Queens all the way to Coney Island because it was the longest train ride? And I could sleep there and back and get 3 hours of decent rest. Where were you? Where were you with all the guidance then? Every move I made in life, I made on my own. Not a person there to tell me how I could make it. I had to scrape by and do it my way. And now you want to come in and tell me, do it this way? Who would listen to you? Who would? What I'm trying to say here is, and this is to the so-called critics and the people who think they know better, get the freak out of my way. Step aside. Create an aisle. I'm going to blow this mother up. And I don't care if you're riding along or not. Please believe me. It's not that I don't need you. I didn't ask. This is a different type of ride. Please understand that. And it takes a time where I have to stop and I have to give that speech to some people because we're trying to do something a little different for the benefit of others. There are a lot of people here who do radio and do this medium the way that they wish to. That's fine. God bless them. But we're trying to introduce something new. And I've got enough faith in it to believe that it'll work. All of this is to say something grander. People telling me that we can't turn this state red? Good. Sit back, relax, watch. We'll do the heavy lifting. People who say that we can't get certain things done, sit back, relax, watch. We'll turn the naysayers into fans. A lot of people have come up to me, even my good friend Sam the man on the street. That's what I love about him. You know what he said to me? He said, I'm not going to lie, Reese. When you first got on the air, I didn't think you'd do half the things that you could do. I said, hey, just another guy. And he said, everything you said you were going to do, you did. That's why he and I are great friends today. And it wasn't about him just admitting that he was wrong, because it wasn't about that. He just had his doubts. And I appreciate having doubts. But you know what he didn't do? He didn't tell me how to do it. He sat back, he watched, and now he's part of the fold. One of my good friends, one of my great confidants. That man sits right in this car, sits right on the bus with Reese on the radio, as does Adam 12. As do Craig in the car, as do a lot of people. They never told me how to do it. Never even injected. They said, hey, man, how can I be down? And when you put that kind of faith in somebody like me, again, the guy who started from nothing, who's here, you put that kind of faith in me, I work my ass off. And you are about to see something you've never seen before. I don't want to hear anything later on talking about, hey, Reese, I was always with you, brother. I was always there, brother. Yeah, I didn't doubt you once. I'll say, sure you did, buddy. Sure you did. I'm sure you were always down. We're going to have a fun ride doing it. When we come back, is Connecticut safer without ICE? Well, Lamont seems to think so. But the human trafficked would disagree. We'll give you the numbers when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Governor Lamont is a slaver, as is Richard Blumenthal, Chris Murphy, and the entire Democrat Party of Connecticut. They are slavers. And they have to atone for that. They know it. I know it. We all know it. They are fighting the federal government to keep their slaves. This is no different than Jim Crow America or post-emancipation proclamation. I mean, they wish to keep their slaves. They're not fighting for, I don't know, they're not trying to keep the most elite individuals in the country. These are not the most brilliant folks among us. I mean, the people who came into this country illegally did not come with skills that benefit humanity in any real and reasonable way. I mean, not in a way that many people who have come to this country and benefited it by, I would say scientists, inventors, Not so much about skilled labor are these folks. These are menial jobs. Picking fruit and vegetables. That's what they do. They build homes or apartments. They do menial construction. They don't speak English, and they do not contribute to society in any meaningful way. Right? We don't have a housing boom in Connecticut, do we? Like, they're not building houses all over the place, right? We have a shortage. So the jobs that these slaves would be doing are non-existent in the state of Connecticut. So what do they do? Isn't that a legitimate question? What, servers? I mean, come on. They're servers, right? They're cleaners and servers. They mop the floors. They clean the windows. They do menial work. You know, and as you say, the work that Americans would never do. These are the jobs of the slaves, weren't they? They don't actually mean anything. You don't even have to know their names. Just make sure they fill up the soap dispensers, clean the windows. The toilets are dirty. Go in there and clean the toilet. You would never do any of those jobs. What would you think of yourself? Or one of your friends if you walked into a restaurant and found your friend inside of a stall in the toilet, cleaning it out, or plunging somebody else's defecation. What would you say to your friend if you saw them doing that? It's like, hey, did you see Harold? Yesterday, yes. I saw him in Chez Magnifique working in the bathroom. Oh, he's fallen on hard times, hasn't he? You wouldn't think about that when it's Carmela or Manuel. You look at them and you go, yes, suitable job for them. Look at them trying to make ends meet for their little ones, who you don't see as real people anyway, right? Right? Same way you didn't see slaves, my ancestors, as real people. Just people there doing the stuff that you wouldn't do. You know, my boy Cletus comes in here and he sweeps up the hair all the time at the barbershop. Cletus, there's some more hair over there. We know. We get it. You're the elite. You're the smart. You're the well-to-do, college-educated. Slavers. That's true. I'm not afraid to call you that. I recognize it. I recognize it well. The black community knows it too. And you know what's even scarier about that? People in the black community? They're fighting to keep the slaves here too. Shame on you. You know, we always talk about how if we were ever in 1939 Germany, what we would do if we saw that type of atrocities happening. I would do. That's funny. I would think that the black community would see slaves and recognize them immediately and say, no, we will not do that again. Little did I know. Turns out, it doesn't matter what color you are. Piece of turd is a piece of turd. I'm the horrible person, though. I'm the bad guy. Jeez, at least I want to free the slaves. Back to their own country. I don't want to keep them here to do all the dirty work. We'll take a break. The numbers don't lie, folks. Connecticut's not safer without ICE. Let's go to the newsroom with John Silva. It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. Reese on the radio right here on WTIC. Here's a question for somebody like Governor Lamont, and a question for anyone who believes that we should continue to create a safe space or sanctuary for illegals in this state. Now, they say that the number of illegals in Connecticut is in or around 150 to 200,000 people. I don't know exactly what the number is, but as Justin Elliker famously told us over a year ago, they don't ask, so they don't tell. But according to a lot of these NGOs, they believe that number is in and around 200,000. But I want you to think about this. How much human trafficking in Connecticut is being owned, operated, and orchestrated by whites in the state? What would you imagine that number to be? Let's go another step. How many people in the black community are operating in the trafficking space? The number of African Americans in the state of Connecticut is in or around 360 to 370,000 people. That number's not growing. It is declining. Well, some other reason these Negroes can't stop shooting and killing each other and aborting their babies. So, anyway. How many of that community would you consider as doing a lot of the human trafficking in the state of Connecticut? Paltry numbers, obviously, right? In fact, when we see these stories, when we get these stories through the news, weirdly enough, every name turns out to be Rosado Gonzalez. Every time. It's weird, but there they are. And clearly, the growing sentiment of sanctuary in the state is helping people traffic human beings here. How do I know? Well, there's a number for it. According to the latest numbers, in 2024, 167 signals received from Connecticut, that's calls, text, and online reports, led to 96 identified cases of trafficking. 96 identified cases of trafficking in 2024. That is up from 42 cases the year before. That means more than double in 2024 from 2023. There were 57 in 2022. All time since 2007, 702 cases identified in Connecticut that involved 1,393 victims. In Connecticut, 1,393 victims. Let's go one step further. The Connecticut Department of Children and Families, also known as DCF, gets over 300 reports per year on young people victimized by sex trafficking. In the past 2 years alone, more than 300 reports of child trafficking, with over 350 consults being completed. Again, ask DCF where the majority of these children, which communities they come from. Are these people safer, Ned Lamont? Are these safer communities? Children under the age of 18, 300 reports in the state involved with human trafficking? Who here believes that it's labor trafficking? Anyone? Anyone? How is this a safer Connecticut? The crazy part is that not, think about this. By every other measure, as far as states are concerned and crime, Connecticut is way up there as the safest place to live. Without a doubt, bar none. And it earned that by being Connecticut. No one knows that more than me. I love this place. The criminal element is few and far between. You're not going to get them everywhere around here, especially where there are trees. Sorry. I'm kidding. Oh, sometimes I can be a little mean. Anyway. Which community do you think they come from? Come on. Let's be honest. We know. Greater Hartford region trafficking investigations are up over 200% from 2022 to 2024. Is that a black thing? It's Hartford, the Greater Hartford region. Who here thinks that the community most affected by a 200% increase in trafficking is in the black community in Hartford? Who believes that? It's not a stereotype if it's true, folks. Arrests and prosecutions. Recent busts show active in 2025. Hartford PD arrested 7 to 8 men in a major sex trafficking ring involving 3 14-year-old girls kidnapped and raped. Those were the black guys. Yeah. Other cases, a New Britain man charged in 26 for violent crimes, trafficking across the state, federal indictments, and interstate minor prostitution rings. The scattered arrests for trafficking persons. We know that person was Latino. Got his name here. Historically, 456 arrests on human trafficking charges from 2016 to 2021, peaking at 107 in 2017, but numbers fluctuate. Most of again, still claiming safely that Connecticut is one of the safest states in the country, without a doubt. But we know for a fact that human trafficking, be it sex or labor, is predominant in Hispanic communities. Predominant. And everybody knows it, and so does Lamont. Let me see. What's this say here? Let me see. This was... Okay, that was that same bust. There's another story here, another statistic here, actually. Where was this one? Oh, the 2025 Danbury brothel ring. That was the one. In 2025, Danbury's brothel ring, 4 men were charged with sex trafficking minors, including, wait for it, Ecuadorian Marco Robles, an illegal, and others like Oswaldo Ordonez Ortega, another Ecuadorian, Stalin Vasquez Salinas, illegally re-entered after deportation and got hit with conspiracy to traffic minors. 2023 to 25, 2 Mexican nationals charged with smuggling illegals into Connecticut, forcing work and debt. A Mexican woman, Maria Carmela Sanchez, sentenced for harboring and extorting, wait for that, 19 victims. They were all living in Hartford, 19 of them. Another Mexican, Apolinar Paredes Espinoza, got 40 months for smuggling and labor trafficking. Honduran illegal arrested for child abuse, overlaps with trafficking risks. Another Honduran with detainers. There was a historical 2024 plea from a woman trafficking immigrants into Connecticut. Countless others. again, somebody explain to me what Lamont's talking about when he says, ICE, we don't need you. Connecticut is safe without you. Safe for whom? Apparently not the people who are being trafficked, sex or otherwise trafficked. And we were told, and this is the part that I want everybody to understand, we don't want these citizens, as they call them, to be fearful to report crimes. We want to make sure that their status in the United States, be it legal or not, doesn't hinder them from reporting crimes to police. Yet many of these cases of these people who are being trafficked were in their position, in these situations for years on end. 19 in one case. Now, there wasn't one person. Now, you know that those individuals were allowed to go here, to go there, to walk to work, walk back home, live in their house. Not one. You know that every single one of them had a cell phone. They obviously were not guarded. No. But yet, where were the phone calls to police? Where were the phone calls to police? Help! I'm being trafficked. Help! Someone come help me. Not one. No phone calls. There had to be sting operations. Years and years and years of tracking people down. Why? Because people aren't coming forward. And the numbers are growing. That's the scary part. If Connecticut is doing its job protecting these folks, remember, because they've given them sanctuary. And sanctuary usually means keeping them safe from harm. Right? That's the whole purpose of sanctuary in this state. They are protected while they are here. Yet, all of this trafficking going on, being used and abused and trafficked. There's no sanctuary in this state. Not when there are criminal elements that are using them and abusing them. How is this safe for them? And guess what? You haven't played a role, Lamont, in finding who these people are or investigating who these people are. And if they're being trafficked, you won't even touch their communities. But the hell if you don't have a problem patrolling through the hood. You guys are patrolling through the hood to make sure nobody's got guns, make sure nobody's committing any crimes, not robbing any stores, not robbing each other. But inside these communities, hands off. Let's tell the truth. These aren't sanctuary cities. These are no-go zones. These people are allowed to govern themselves. Criminals and all. You guys will decide to pick them up at some particular moment. But then when you get them and you arrest them and you put them in, but you think that you would at least alert somebody to say, let's get this piece of trash off our street so he doesn't terrorize another one of our sanctuary citizens. No, 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 no. You put that animal right back on the street, right back in the same community. Well, then he gets out there and he goes to any one of those people who may or may not have snitched on him, and then that person is burned to a crisp or worse. Families murdered, executed. And then everybody acts like nothing's happened. Yeah, it's safe for Lamont. Sure it is. You don't need ICE at all because you guys are doing a bang-up job in those communities. I am so glad that I wasn't born into one of these folks' communities. So glad. They think this is caring for them. They think this is like what it looks like for a politician to make them safe so they can fight back against the big, bad, evil Trump. That's what these people think is a political win. Someone's going to have to explain that to me. I'm not getting it. Ken is calling from Meriden, I believe. Hello, Ken. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, Reese. How you doing?
I'm all right. What do you got?
Well, I had to call in when I heard what you were talking about here. Roughly 8 years ago or so, my daughter was still in college.
Okay.
She did a semester abroad.
Oh.
And one of the things that she found out was that the I-95 corridor is heavily used for sex trafficking.
Yep.
In Milford, Connecticut, the Pilot truck stop
really
is known as one of those areas where they pick up trafficked people, although you don't hear about it in the news.
Now, when you say that they're picked up, or you're saying that there are individuals, like, is that a stopping point to pick someone up and traffic them somewhere else?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I'm going back. My daughter told me this like almost 10 years ago now.
Okay. Now, when you say she was traveling abroad, like, are you saying out of state?
No, she did a semester overseas. She was actually in South Africa.
Holy moly! So what? I'm trying to understand the correlation. So while she was in South Africa, she knew that about the I-95 corridor.
Yeah, she found that out because she was doing. I'm trying to remember now here. She was trying to go with like policy writing kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
Government.
Yeah.
And the person that she was studying under, I guess, relayed this information to her and told her all about it.
Okay, so whoever she was doing this work with is somebody who was in the know of the trafficking routes that are used in the United States. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, 95 is heavy. I did not, like, this was such a weird thing growing up. Because I've heard plenty of things about these rest stops, right? I thought that they were, the truck stops usually had sort of a group of women who sort of patrolled them and they did the prostitution thing with the truckers, like that kind of deal. Lot lizards. I forgot about that term, yes. So I've always known about that. And then I heard this story, and this will give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Was that I heard of a woman who had rented a U-Haul from Florida who had put all of the illegals in the back of the cargo van and drove it all the way up through Virginia. And that's because it was from Texas to Florida and then Florida to Virginia, to Northern Virginia. And these people were always like, it was sort of like every one of them was dropped off to another cartel member to do labor trafficking. Yeah. So 95, you're right, is 100% heavy, but Milford, of all places.
Of all places in Connecticut, I mean, you would think the big cities, Bridgeport, New Haven, Hartford, Waterbury being on 84. But yeah, it turns out Milford has that reputation because of the Pilot truck stop. And I'm sure it was probably going back before it was Pilot. It was the Mayflower truck stop.
I do remember that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, boss man. I appreciate it. I got to take a break, though.
All right, Reese.
Thank you, man. You got it. Let's take that break. We'll be back. More news, more views, and more on this when we return. It's Reese on the radio.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
We're back. Reese on the radio. I have not addressed this whole Nancy Guthrie thing, Savannah Guthrie's mom. I have not. And if there's anything that I can say, because I'm only speculating here, but I have this sneaking suspicion that this is closer than people are looking. And I say that because there's just too many variables that don't make sense to me. And that is why. Savannah Guthrie is a TV host on the Today Show. It isn't a vital broadcast. Savannah Guthrie is in a kind of in a weird vacuum in all of that. And I said to Roseanne the other day, I was like, isn't it going to be weird if we find out like Nancy Guthrie in the 50s was like some double agent from Russia or something like that? Because I was thinking like off the wall, it didn't make any sense that this woman would be kidnapped and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I hate to say it, but again, just to put that out in the world and say, I hope I'm wrong. But this is just too... It's too close. This doesn't seem like something that happened random. This idea she's 40 minutes away from the Mexican border, my view is, so what? I am not all of a sudden going to say, oh, an illegal may... For what? For the value in that. If this is the southern border and it is a cartel... Are you saying that somebody in a cartel or somebody from the Mexican border said, Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mother? That sounds like somebody we should kidnap. Not a high-value target. I'm not saying that her life isn't worth something. Hear me out. I'm looking at this from a ransom point of view. She's 84. She's a pacemaker. This sounds like a crime of passion. It just does. A mistake gone wrong. I know you know who I'm looking at here. I know you know. I'm just not going to say it, but I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not. Some of you will be like, oh, man. Yep. Yeah. I'm just saying. You can't do something like this and like just so many things be done. Ring camera gone. Here's one thing. Let me put it to you this way. Here is the most interesting part about all of this that no one has asked, and I haven't seen it yet. And if there is, please show it to me. Hear me out. Sunday night, Nancy Guthrie was dropped off to her home at about 9:30 p.m. She was dropped off by her daughter and son-in-law after they had gone out for dinner. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, where is the surveillance tape of the restaurant that they had dinner? Where is it? Why hasn't it been displayed? It hasn't even come up. Everything is about surveillance videos. Everything. And I don't care if you're out in the desert of Arizona, there is a video camera everywhere. And not once has it been presented. Here is Nancy and her daughter and her son-in-law leaving, I don't know, Chuck E. Cheese, the Cheesecake Factory, or whatever place they went to have dinner. Nothing. No one has even said or brought up where they had dinner that night. Nothing. Which begs the question, Lori, is that true? Lori says they refuse to say now who dropped her off after dinner. Oh, that's interesting. Excuse me. So, okay, that's all I'm saying is that things that we would normally see would be out automatically. That's all. And this is, Julie in Boston brought this up to me. That and I should have recognized this immediately. After the Boston Marathon bombing, the FBI was fighting Deval Patrick. In fact, it's displayed in the in the movie Patriots Day, that Deval Patrick and Mayor Menino wanted to release the photographs they believed at the time were Zarnev and Drakkar Tamerlan, or Tamerlan Zarnev, yeah, Tamerlan Zarnev and Drakkar Zarnev. They wanted to release that. And somebody from the police department secretly released the photograph because they should have been, in their view, they wanted to get ahead of this to use the public to see if they noticed this guy. But the FBI was keeping it under wraps. That they didn't want to release the photo because, and they say it in the movie, is because they believed that it would spark Islamophobia. We find out later that the reason why they didn't want to release the photo is because the FBI had their hands all in it. That Tamerlan was one of theirs that they were watching, and it was on a watch list, and they knew they were about to get busted, okay, because they weren't watching the guy. They were getting called by Russians saying, hey, do you know this guy's flying back and forth? Anyway, so they didn't want to release it. So here I am asking the question, why wouldn't they release the photograph? They released the photograph immediately of Elizabeth Smart. So it just, I found it as odd, and, you know, we'll see. Anyway, later on, I want to talk about this story about the $200 that everyone's talking about. I found something interesting in the news media that should blow everybody away. Because, and I don't know, maybe it's because they don't have the manpower to do it. But I want to ask a question, and I want to ask it of you, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. I need your phone calls today, okay? Has anybody asked you what you think about the $200 that Lamont's giving you? Has anybody? Because I looked it up, and no one is asking you. No one. So I've decided that's what I'm going to do this weekend. I am going to go out and ask everybody that I come in contact with, what do they think about the $200? And I'm going to ask another question. One more. This is an important one. I'm going to ask, are you one of the 63% that approve of Governor Lamont? You're getting $200. Do you approve of Governor Lamont? Are you part of the 63%? Because I don't get it. Dave's in Brantford. How are you doing, Dave?
Okay. I had to get ready. I have three things, so I'll try to go fast. On the rebate, it's just a straight cash bribe rebate. Just like Biden when he was giving away the stimulus money. Yeah. It wasn't for any cause. It was just go out and spend it. Mm-hmm. And I wonder aloud, we're all the affordability crisis. Food costs too much, healthcare costs too much, energy costs too much. How did they decide what to name what this rebate was for? They could have called it, the healthcare rebate. Yeah, that costs so much. They could have called it "Go Get Your Teeth Fixed" rebate. A lot of people, but they called it an energy cost rebate. Which, to be honest, the people who deserve it the most, it should be on proportion to the energy you use. Indeed. And so you would think you should get a percentage of your electric bill back. But no, you just get cash back. We'll call it the bribe. The other thing, I was watching some of the Nancy Guthrie news conference this afternoon. And one of the local police, the Arizona sheriff, used this sentence. And I was thinking of the governor's speech yesterday when he peed all over ICE. We don't need you to be safe. Get out. And the Arizona sheriff said this. I'm going to read it exactly. We, in this part of the country, will take anybody's help. And I was thinking the contempt they must have for these dumb blue states that, Department of Justice, get out of here. You ICE people, get out of here. We're so fastidious about who morally is able to be helpful, and we don't want to be associated with those people. I like that, and I'm sure the Arizona sheriff did not hear Governor Lamont's speech yesterday. Clearly. But you couldn't help but think he'll take anybody's help. And there's snarky Lamont. ICE, get out of here. We don't need your help. We're safer than anybody. And the last thing is there's a blizzard using my taxpayer money of Attorney General Tong on the radio and on TV. Morning, noon, and night, I've seen that Tong commercial where he holds that nice lady's hand who got scammed in a romance. He's using my money to get his face and name and likeness out there. You know, on an election year, he did the same thing when he was had a commercial about drugs in your teenagers. It's just despicable how they. This is election rigging, plain and simple.
It sure enough is.
Prosecuted, but I'd like to call it out. Thanks for letting me say it, and I'm all done, Reese.
You got it, sir. Thank you very much. You got it. Dave's always good. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. Anyone asking you about the $200 that you're being gifted by Governor Lamont, you'll be amazed at who isn't asking you when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
So I looked this up, and I was asking this question. Who is asking nutmeggers about the $200? And there's a wide range of people who are eligible for this money. It is available for people who make up to $200,000. If you're single, $200,000. If you are family, $400,000. And I'm looking at that just going, now I know that's pennies, that's garbage. I'm never going to get a dime of it. So why do I care? I wasn't caring in the first place. It was my job to at least ask. So I asked some people yesterday. And Tabitha was one of the young ladies we asked who works at a diner that we frequent in Plainville. Here's what she had to say when I asked her about the $200 versus having no taxes on tips or overtime.
As a server and having been in this industry for, over 30 years, our minimum wage is $6.38 an hour. So a $200 rebate is not helpful at all. The no taxes on our tips and overtime is way more beneficial, for people in the service industry because we rely on people's generosity to tip us. Not everybody tips. Not everybody tips, the quote-unquote 20%. And while there's others that go above and beyond, and that's what helps carry us. But, having to pay taxes, on that money that, yes, we choose to do this as a living, but that's because I can do really well at it because I am good at my job. But, having to pay taxes on top of that it's a lot.
And she's right in the sense of not just that it's a lot. Think about this. She said in that piece she makes $6.38 an hour. What I learned is that a lot of the money that they make in tips clearly outweighs what they do with their salary. Of course it does. And because that money fluctuates, the tips money, because it can be, one day you can make $100 worth of tips on a shift. Another day, just 15, 20. Could be a bad day. Nobody shows up at the restaurant. But it fluctuates all over the place. And it can make or break you when it comes to paying your bills. Because it's arbitrary. That's the crazy part. Is that the entire neighborhood can end up, like, let's imagine the community that you serve as a server, like everybody is tightening that belt. And they don't go out as much to the diner. Or when they do, they only pick up a cup of coffee and maybe one pancake. Or as I do, I get 3 at this particular place. But imagine that. And the taxes coming out of that stuff, out of those tips, are going to destroy them. So what does the governor do when he has an opportunity to help out those folks? He gives them $200. It's absolutely insane. Let's get our first check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher He is there in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center, getting you home. Hey, Mark.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Stupidest thing I read today coming up. I'm trying to understand what Adam is writing here. Are you saying that McMahon is driving in Bristol? If that's what you're saying, just say yes, that's what I'm saying. Adam 12 writes to me, he's like, imagine someone writing with their bad hand while driving on a rocky mountain. That's like typing with their bad hand on a rocky mountain. That's what it's like texting with him. God bless him. He's like the worst when he texts. I wish he would actually do voice text, because that would be helpful. Anyway, I was mentioning this earlier. Like, again, who's asking you about your take on the $200? So I went to go look up. I was like, hey, are there any published reports on people being asked about the $200 that they're going to get from Governor Lamont? Connecticut Insider writes that they ran multiple stories calling the response lukewarm overall. Who did they ask? Progressive Democrats, like Representative Ann Hughes, they asked, and also Senator Stephen Harding from the Republican Party. WFSB highlighted Republican skepticism, like Senator Harding. Connecticut Post and others tied it to the broader State of the Union coverage. No mention of talking to citizens. NBC Connecticut and WTNH reported on the proposal itself, with some legislative leaders open to relief ideas, but no deep resident dives yet. In fact, they talked to nobody who would be receiving the money. Why not? Why wouldn't that be important? Like, that is the story. But it turns out that's kind of how media works around here. But we're going to do it this weekend. Friday and Saturday. We're going to go around and we're going to ask. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher is here. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, let's get to the phones real quick. Walter is calling on his cell. How are you, Walter?
Good. Can you hear me, Reese?
Perfectly.
One other question to ask when you ask people about the $200.
Yes.
Is the public service or the public benefit that they're paying on their electric bill?
Yes.
I know. I have a small house, but mine is like $50 a month.
Okay.
But I was talking to a buddy of mine. They got probably 2,500 square foot and a couple of kids, and theirs is $127 a month.
Holy moly!
Ask that question before you ask about the $200. I don't even pay for a tank of diesel oil for your furnace.
Yeah, you know what? And that's a good point, because this $200 or $400 for a family is supposed to be a payback, and as Lamont sees it, is to cover for the public's benefit charge. That's what he's seeing it as. Unfortunately, because his people have horrible PR, it is being framed as an energy rebate, which
it doesn't come close.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous. Exactly. So they should have said, and I think that it was also purposeful on their part to not bring in the public benefits charge, because most people would have responded by saying, hey, forget about giving me $200 or $400 for it. Why don't we just knock it off with the public's benefit charge?
Exactly. It's just a tax. It's another tax.
Indeed. I will definitely make sure that I mention it. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
You got it. Let's go to Mike is in Simsbury. Hello, Mike.
Reese, I could find a way to support this under two conditions.
And what are we talking about? What are we talking about that you would support?
The $200 or $400 for a family.
Okay.
The first is you have to have paid all of your utility bills since 2020.
Oh, nice. In essence, saying you don't give this to anybody who is benefiting from the public benefits charge.
Correct. And the second is make the refund or rebate proportional to the amount of money that an individual ratepayer has paid towards public benefits over the last 5 years.
So you're saying that $400 won't cut it if you've been paying a significant amount. You should get more, which it goes to the argument is why are people with $200,000 or $200,000 paychecks being given this $400?
Well, the issue is it's not the people who are getting $200,000. It's the people who make $50,000 a year that have not been paying their utility bills.
Right.
They're getting $400.
Yep. Absolutely.
They should receive no benefit. They've already received a benefit.
That's a great point. And that should be a provision of, okay, that's a good, I like that proposal. And it should be discussed before, of course. And I don't even think it's going to go on his desk until this whole thing is written out. But that's a very, very valuable point. Because if you haven't been paying the public benefits charge and you've been benefiting from it, you should not be getting, nothing should be allotted to you as far as that $400 is concerned.
Exactly.
Yep. Good point. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
You, my friend.
You got it. Cheers. Jerry is in Stratford. Hello, Jerry.
Hey, Reese, I think it was de Tocqueville that wrote that democracy dies when the government figures out they can bribe the people with their own money. and this is what Lamont is transparently doing. You look at the electricity price data, we're the second highest in the continental United States. We are 75% over the national average. This is a result of public policy. So unless public policy changes, this $200 will quickly evaporate. So what we really need is 200 less Democrats in Hartford, not $200 more in my pocket. Now, if you got time, can I make a comment about your Nancy Guthrie analysis?
Yeah, please.
You would encourage people not to rush to political conclusions about the whodunit and all that. And I was listening to that. It just brought back a memory of, do you remember the D.C. sniper?
Yes.
The white guy in a white van, Charlton Bin Falwell.
Yes.
And it turned out to be not just a black guy in a purple sedan, but a black guy named Muhammad.
Yes.
And so I remember watching Kathleen Kennedy, who was smearing white Christians, saying that they were responsible for this, all these murders. And Kathleen Townsend Kennedy, she's running for lieutenant governor of Maryland.
Oh.
And when the guy's ex-wife ratted him out and the FBI revealed who they caught, she was like, "Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? You didn't? Why don't you let him go?" And it was just pathetic. So yes, I agree with you. We should not race to political conclusions. But,
yeah, I don't look. I'll put it to you this way: the thing about this that I find too awkward is it's always about crimes like these are always about proximity, and this woman is Savannah Guthrie. I'm talking about here, not her mother. Savannah Guthrie is, if she's anything, she's a just well-paid anchor on a morning news program. The fact that there would be a ransom note asking for $50,000 for her when the host of NBC's Today Show makes six figures seems awkward. The fact that it ended up in TMZ seems planted. Because I know that if you want to send a ransom note and you want to get it to somebody, you go at least to NBC News because that's where she's affiliated. Bringing this to TMZ seems weird, and it doesn't make sense. This isn't you can't have both in a sense, Jerry, in this way. Let's say when you're paying attention to this, people tell you she's 40 minutes away from the southern border in Arizona. It's quite possible she was kidnapped by cartels or illegals or whatever the case may be. And then you're supposed to then suggest that somebody of that ilk would send a ransom note to the most known gossip website in American history, TMZ, and not NBC News?
It makes it, but then again, like they're saying, why didn't they reach out to Guthrie directly? It's like, well,
exactly.
I can call you, but I can't call. Who the hell knows her phone number?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But I would find one way because, again, if I'm watching news reports, I'm hearing every day. Today's Show host. I would go, hey, Today's Show, what's that? Oh, that's NBC. Send the note to them. Instead, they send it to TMZ, completely unrelated.
Back to your original question, I'll close with this. If you really want your electric utility bills to go down closer to the national average, you want 200 less Democrats in Hartford. You don't want $200 more in your pocket.
Damn right.
That's the only way they're going to change permanently.
100% right, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Reese.
You got it. Who do we go to? Oh, Gary. Okay, sorry. Thank you, Gary. How are you?
Good. Hey, I want to say two things. One is I have a wild theory on the Guthrie situation.
Okay.
First is, how about this one? Because you mentioned the restaurant before.
Yes.
I tend to think it might be something to do with the border, somebody coming over. But could it be that they were at that restaurant? Was there any illegal aliens that worked there, and did they make a call?
Ooh. So someone illegal in the restaurant recognizes her and then makes a call that she's on her way home.
Yeah, maybe. Something like that.
It's not hey, listen, again, if Nancy Guthrie is somebody who's recognizable by the locals with her association and relationship to Savannah Guthrie, yeah, absolutely, that makes sense. Yeah. But this is one of them Arkham Razors moments where the simplest answer to the question is indeed the truth. That's how I'm looking at it. It's like it seems too simple to me. It seems too cut and dry, and it doesn't make sense for an 84-year-old woman who is the mother of a morning show host for this to, because I think that, I really do believe the attention that's being given to this is because somewhere deep down, everybody is about to get the shock of their life.
Yeah, maybe. That could be.
Yeah, it is. I promise you it is. Thank you, buddy. Armand is in Avon. Hello, sir. Hey, I didn't see you this year, Armand, did I?
No, you did not, Reese.
Well, I missed you, man. How are you?
No, good. Well, actually, I did see you at the charity collection.
Okay, you were at Avon.
Yeah, I stopped in and provided a donation. You were there with
Roseanne
Fazio, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, Ryan Fazio. That's right. We didn't get to talk because I was talking to Fazio. That's right. You did show up. Thank you, buddy. But I appreciate you coming in and, of course, donating as you always do. How you been?
Good. So what I want to call about is the alternative to that $200.
Yes.
And you mentioned the public benefits charge.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an excellent article in the CT Mirror. It was either yesterday or the day before.
Okay.
And they do a pie chart breakdown of what the public benefit charge is made out of.
Yes.
And I looked at the subcomponents. If you took the percentage associated with the money that's attributed to hardship programs, clean energy, EVs, and battery storage.
That's right.
And the third one is energy efficiency. That equates to 63% of the public benefits charge. If you just eliminated those, you could reduce that component of everybody's bills by 63% instead of $200 lousy bucks.
That is such a great point because, again, it doesn't make any sense, the money that they're using this for. It's literally an opportunity to double dip for a bunch of pet projects.
Yep. Hardship programs, clean energy, EVs, and energy efficiency, 63%.
Damn. And there you go. And get rid of, and again, who is that benefiting if the governor, if you ask me, and you tell me what you think, because this is my point of view. I kind of feel that it's nothing more than a slush fund.
Yeah, I think it's to buy low-income votes.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you there. And in addition to that, they don't want to touch any component of a utility bill because that utility bill is taxed.
Yeah.
So that's money.
Yeah. It's, again,
and $200, that's like throwing a bone to a dog.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Exactly. It's exactly a very, very clean bone, I might add. with no meat on it.
No meat in that bone, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, buddy, as always.
Yep. Take care, Reese.
You got it. Yeah, that's, again, I'm so fascinated by the people who haven't spoken up. But then I think I know, as I said earlier, no one in the news media is asking people about this because there would be a revolt. And I say this because when I was recording Tabitha, the woman sitting at the table, I felt bad even mentioning it in front of her because she was irate. She was having this great breakfast with her daughter, and she was visibly livid. She folded her arms and sat back, and she was cursing up a storm. This is BS. It's a slap in the face, I tell you. And I'm like, ooh. I was like, I felt like I was the one who proposed this $200. I was like, and it was really weird because I've always been weird about it. You ever do something in the presence of others that you didn't mean to and you've upset them in some way? I've had it happen to me once. And it was, I guess I have to tell the story since I'm here and we're going to a break soon. So this is what happened. I'll never forget it. It was an awful, awful thing. You might remember that Mark Christopher was asking me about if something had ever happened to me before where inside of a bar I said something that caused a bar fight. Yes, I've been in plenty of bar fights, by the way. But this one was really, really bad. And it was about the Grammys. I was talking to a friend of mine named Glenn. And he was asking me about the Grammys the night before. And I said, yeah, I watched it. And he goes, what'd you think? And I went, it was all right. It was okay. And he goes, hey, you heard about Eric Clapton? Eric Clapton winning. Now, I was already on a tear about the Grammys. I was saying some very, very awful things about it and how horrible it was. And there was a woman standing off on the side with her husband. She was having a glass of wine or whatever the case was, and she was listening to me intently with her back to me. And I'm going on ripping the Grammys, as it were. And then Glenn mentions the award for Record of the Year for Tears in Heaven. And Eric Clapton won it. And I proceeded to say, yeah, well, come on, you know why you got that award. I said, because his son. Well, I'm not going to say what I said. If you ever see me, I'll tell you exactly what I said. It's too offensive to say here. It was just me saying it. I wasn't. Well, anyway, this woman threw her wine glass on the bar and screamed at me. And she says, that's it. I've had it with you. And her husband had to grab her arm. You are a piece of trash. And I went, what's your problem, lady? I've always felt bad about that. Say something out loud and somebody gets upset. I always try to never do that again. I was really, really upset that I did that to that person. So, I'm sorry, lady, at the diner. If you're listening, I didn't mean to upset you. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let's do the thing. Now, I don't know who does this. I don't even know a place that does this anymore, but I've stopped doing this a long time ago. A routine visit to a car wash in Pennsylvania turned into a nightmare for a Waynesboro woman when a system malfunction locked her in her vehicle inside the facility. The automated wash cycle began normally, but a glitch in the machinery caused the doors to seal shut and the equipment to halt midway. Trapped amid soap suds and spinning brushes, the woman called for help using her cell phone. This is where it gets harrowing, because it's bad enough to just have the system malfunction with you inside the car with the brushes going and the soap all over you because you can't see and you're just stuck there. But this is where it gets crazy. Emergency responders arrived nearly 45 minutes later, working carefully to override the system without causing any damage or injury. The woman remained calm throughout, congratulations to her, communicating with dispatchers who assured her that help was on the way. Technicians later identified a faulty sensor as the culprit, which had triggered a safety lockdown intended to prevent accidents, but instead created one. Once freed, the woman was unharmed but understandably shaken, vowing to stick to hand washing her car in the future. The car wash owner issued a full refund. Yeah, nice of him to do that. And promised a thorough inspection of all equipment, well, at least. This bizarre ordeal serves as a reminder of the potential pitfalls of relying on automated technologies for everyday tasks. I don't want to go that far, because car washes have been fantastic forever. I love a good car wash. I love a good car wash place. I do. I used to have one in Northern Virginia that I used to drive all the way to, and I used to spend $45 for this one. And people swear by it. Mark in West Hartford he went to that Optimal place for like $60 for detailing. He said those illegals were fantastic. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Mark, how if you had to choose, automated car wash or hand wash?
It's funny. I washed 3 of our cars today.
And you went to a car wash, didn't you?
2 of them I went through a touchless, because the guy who details our cars says never go through a brush one. You got to go touchless. So
really?
Which I follow directions. Yep. And then the third one I did by hand because it's a cargo van.
Okay.
So I just went into the the booth there and sprayed it with the high pressure.
You did that in the cold?
Well, it was you know what? 30 degrees feels pretty balmy these days.
Yeah,
so
I'm not going to lie about that.
That's why I went out today, and one of our garage doors broke, so my wife's car couldn't get out for like 3 or 4 days until they came over today and fixed that. So I'm thinking to myself, it's going to be a wicked cold over the weekend. So I'm thinking I'm going to do something nice for my wife. I went out, filled the car up with gas, and I took it through the car wash. So I did my good deed as a husband today. But yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter to me really. But, it depends on the vehicle.
I like the machine. I like driving. I like when they take the car. But I never sit in the car. I hate sitting in the car. I'm claustrophobic.
Really?
Claustrophobic.
See, the thing I had to remember, because I had the dogs with me, so I had to remember, okay, we're started pulling up. I'm like, wait a minute. I got the windows open for the dogs. I got to shut the window here, or we got a big problem.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I wish I could feel for you, Jason, but I wouldn't have gone there. First of all, you lost me at Disney World. Anyway, Jason says, I was at Disney and I was taking a tour of the House of the Future. Everything was controlled by the computer. Doors, windows, shades, lights, etc. Long story short, we got locked in the house, couldn't get out for 30 minutes. Hey, nope. Again, I'm claustrophobic. I can't do that whole, in the car. No. Locked in there 45 minutes? No. Couldn't do that. Nope. Just can't. No, I'm thinking about it. And that's the worst part. When you're claustrophobic, you think about yourself in a claustrophobic moment, which makes it even scarier, weirdly enough, but it just does. Anyway, Rob is in Meriden. How can we help you today, Rob?
Yes, thank you, Reese, for picking up the call. And I was just calling, if you don't mind me talking about a couple things about the affordability or the Connecticut electric bill rebate, but I don't think there should be no problem with the exorbitant pensions those brave linemen get. The CEOs are only getting $20 million a year. The CFO, Chief Financial Officer, he's making a peddly $8 million.
Who are we talking about, Rob?
This is CLMP, Connecticut Light and Power, or you can call it Northeast Utilities.
Mm-hmm.
They provide power to a lot of people in the state of Connecticut, the nutmeg state, and those CEOs are doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And the linemen deserve good pensions, like the state of Connecticut is passing out money to everybody else, and affordability is gone. It's affordability for some, but the ones who are getting $30,000 a year passed on to their pensions.
Who's getting paid? Who's getting $30,000 a year? The linemen?
There's a policy in the state of Connecticut, if you do any research, that if you get the best 3 years of being a correction officer, a mental health advisor in a state hospital, you get extra the best 3 years, so they all make overtime at the end. So instead of having $100,000 peddly pension a year, they can increase up to $20,000 to $30,000. That's an extra $20,000 for them working 3 overtime shifts at the end of their career. And
Rob, what do you do for a living?
Helps the taxpayer.
What do you do for a living?
Me, I used to do refrigeration and build grocery stores with blueprints and architects.
What do you do now?
And what do I do now? I just try to figure out the world, and I'm disabled.
So you don't have a job?
I bought everything I need to have.
Oh, okay. All right, so you don't have a job.
I make money because I invested correctly.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What do you do?
I make money because I invested correctly.
Oh, okay. So your money's working for you.
I don't want to see it burn away.
No, I'm not. What you seem to be defensive about the question I'm asking. I'm saying, what do you do for a living?
The thing is, you're always on the defensive, like you're an attorney.
I'm not. No, Rob. Listen, you called the show, and you call a lot. And I know that you kind of make your bones by being the most...
but I'm just asking.
Why are you interrupting me? Why are you interrupting? Why are you interrupting me? I do the thing. I do the thing that you want me to do, and that's one, pick up your call so that we can have a conversation. I let you spout off everything you wanted to spout off, and now I want to engage. I want to engage you in conversation. And you know what you are not, and this is the problem that I have with people like you. You ask for, you don't even ask for, you demand that you come on the air and you get your word out. You get the words out. And let me finish. And here's the thing. When it is time for you to be reciprocal, where I ask you a question.
You're
not
twisting things up like
no, you're not.
Do.
So here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to say from now on, Rob, go somewhere else. Because I try to be kind and I put you on the air and
I
you're
appreciate
disrespectful.
That. And you too.
All right.
Mutual.
Peace out, homie. Try to be nice. Try to be nice. Now you'll sit on hold for the rest of my tenure here until somebody else decides to pick you up. Now that relationship's over. Don't ever bother calling me here again. That day is over. Mark it down. Today was your last day on the air. Last day on these airwaves. Ever. And call my bosses, call anybody you need to. Do whatever you got. I'm pretty sure that they will help you out there. Now, let's go to Mark. Mark's calling. How are you, Mark?
Reese, I'm well, thanks. Very interesting conversation you just had. It was rather unique in the radio talk world.
I know. I get them all.
Hey, but you're good at it, right? At least some of us think so.
Thank you, sir.
So, the reason I'm calling is because what the gentleman was trying to explain with some state employees, depending upon what kind of job the state employee has, their pension is a combination of the 3 highest years of earnings during their tenure with the state of Connecticut.
Right.
Now you got to get certain minimums in as far as time anyway, but a lot of people who have that clause in their contract will work as much overtime as they can in 3 separate years, so that the highest 3 years are even higher than what they would normally make because they went to the picnic with the family during the summertime weekends instead of going in and working on the summertime weekends, as an example. So he didn't really get that clearly across to maybe the listeners.
Because he was, and here's why, Mark, because here's the thing with that conversation. He hates anyone in this state who makes money that isn't him. He doesn't come from a person who's concerned about, contracts or, sort of like relationship, like the pensions are wrong. He's a hater of anyone who's making any money. So he sits around and he complains about anyone who makes money. And his whole lot in life is to get on the radio and to complain about how much he hates people making money or fleecing the. It's like he's not an actor. He's not an activist. You'll never see him at a protest. You will never see him getting involved in getting the word out or actually holding up a picket sign. You will only catch him on. And by the way, this is on his social media profile. The most listened to talk show host caller. Like he is actually like he's out there promoting himself as the most listened to caller of talk radio.
My goodness.
So yeah, that's why I was only indulging him to get to the point where, okay, and what is the purpose of you coming on the air to talk about this? And again, it's nothing. It's just to hear himself talk.
Right.
So, but I appreciate you clarifying. I totally get the pension system. But again, you said the magic word in your whole breakdown, contract. Yeah. That's the deal. It's the contract. And again, I always say, it's like, look, we can hate the fact that it's a contract, but this is negotiated upon. Right? And like we can call it, what's the word, shady or shisty, whatever the case is, but it is a contract.
Right. Yes. Yeah, and people hold up, if both parties hold up their end of the contract, the bottom line is supposedly that the public benefit for the greater good.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not always the case, but I would always say in order to hold those folks accountable, one of those individuals, be it the contract signer or the contract, writer, one of those folks are going to have to be on the up and up. It's like, look, we've got to, like, I shouldn't have a contract that says I can have 3 years. Well, my pension is going to be based on the 3 years that I've earned the most money.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's a little disconcerting in my view. Cause it's like, it's not based upon your entire career. Cause in most cases, how many years do you have to work before you get a pension? Like 20?
I think it's 20 at this point.
Yeah, it's 20.
Some specialties, hazardous things may be less, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say if I had a 20-year career and my pension is going to be based upon the 3 years that I earned the most, I would say, okay, can we level that out considerably? Like, maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at least then I've got more skin in the game. Because 3 years is out of 20 years, that's minimal. I can do that at any time I want to in the 20 years I've worked, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. That's my take. If I look at it being shady, I would just go, all right, I need you to commit more time than that.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, okay.
Good point.
Thank you, sir.
I thank you, and Reese. Wish you well.
You got it, sir. You too. Let me see if I can get this last one in. Christine in Wellington. Hello, Christine.
Hi, Reese. Yes, real quickly, before the subject of these daycares dies down, I just wanted to touch on something that I was watching, to have maybe people reconsider. And I was watching a post Benny Johnson put up about this woman that was home with her 2 twins for a while, and then her maternity leave ended, and she was sobbing that she had to leave them and so on. So when she got off, Benny was saying, and this is not everybody, but I think a lot. He said, shame on the father. He can go out and get 2 jobs, whatever. They can figure things out financially to have to leave. The other thing is, like these daycares, too many kids are in daycare. They had a story about some kid came home with stickers on him, and they found out that there was drugs in these stickers that were making some that were making some of the kids sleepy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I just hope before the weekend comes that people sit down and see if they can refigure things out financially or whatever, because that is not the place for children to start out, especially. And, it's just ironic that they're finding all this other stuff out.
Yeah, you know what? I was just watching a video the other day of what was so awful, Christine. This video showed one of the in a daycare, I guess, for like kindergarten, preschool, whatever it was. And this one teacher took her shoe off and threw it at a kid across the room, hit the girl in the face, and then she ran over to try to console the girl. So, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean, I wasn't trying to hit you. I guess the kid was doing something in the cubby. She was trying to stop her, but she actually hit the child. It wasn't just bad enough that video had the recording of it all. It was the fact that the two other employees that were in the room who witnessed it lied for the other employees, saying that the girl tripped and fell until the video was released. And I'm like, they only fired the woman who threw the shoe. And in my view, I'm like, everybody's gone.
Well, that's my point, because, I even say about animals, not everybody that works with animals loves animals. They love that they can't tell on them.
Yes.
When they do something. And that's the same with children. And unless you have cameras up the wazoo, there's a lot of this stuff going on. These people go into these positions not because they love children. But my point again is to try to reconfigure that child, that baby, during those very important years, can stay home and not be dropped off in his little diapers and jammy, because they're not getting proper care, all these daycares.
Without a doubt, it's funny. It's becoming more and more known that these places are not safe places or safe havens for children. It turns out it's so right, and it's incredible, some of the words. I just got in fact, maybe I'll bring it up later on in an hour. But thank you, Christine. I appreciate that info.
Thank you, too. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, you got it. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's an ugly thing. Rush once said that wealth is someone who makes a buck more than you. I agree. I heard the same thing about the stickers. They were using them to make kids sleep during nap time, Jason says. That's just crazy. That's just crazy to me. Craig says, also, this is Craig in the corner. I'm assuming this is a different person. Says, I have one of those state pensions. It's 2% per year over every year worked of the average of the 3 best years. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. I appreciate you. Let's get to weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he is getting you home for those of you jumping out of the office. Hopefully through the door, not the window. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, let's hope so. Hey.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Whenever anyone tells me that they don't like something, I think I like it more. News. I don't know why I like it. It's silly, and I'm having fun doing it. Today in music news, I didn't know this, but folks, it is the 50th anniversary, at least on the 13th of this month. It is the 50th anniversary of the album A Trick of the Tail. And I don't know this album. Maybe Mark Christopher does. He's a big music guy. So, A Trick of the Tail, what is that? It is the title track from the group Genesis, their 7th studio album, which again was released on February 13th, 1976, 50 years ago. But here's why it's interesting, because it is the first single from the album that first featured Phil Collins as the lead vocalist. Because, of course, Peter Gabriel left on the last album. So I didn't know that. I knew that Peter Gabriel used to be the lead singer of Genesis, but I did not know that this particular album was the first album that Phil Collins did the lead in. It's hard to believe that was 50 years ago on the 13th that Phil Collins became the lead vocalist for the album A Trick of the Tail, their 7th album. Wild. Wow, now I have to go through their entire catalog because there's, I only know, the Phil Collins, It's No Fun, Being an Illegal Alien, that kind of thing. And, I of course, I know No Jacket Required. I know a lot of the Genesis stuff, and when he went solo. But, damn, that's a career. That is a career, especially for a guy who was doing drums for Genesis at the time. Also, congratulations on my mother's birthday, and, of course, my favorite president's birthday. February 6th marks the 64th birthday of Axl Rose, lead singer of Guns N' Roses. 64 years old. Now when he talks about Take Me Down to the Paradise City, Mark Christopher, the BPS lawyers, Traffic Center. Yeah.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Phil Collins. That No Jacket Required album was interesting because I can think as a kid growing up in Hollis, Queens, there were some songs that were, in my view, I guess when I was growing up, that were so received by me that were outside of the scope of rap, hip hop, or R&B. I wasn't buying anybody in the R&B world. There was no Keith Sweat for me. There was no Freddie Jackson. I didn't care about, just whoever it was. Anita Baker, did not care. Wasn't into it. So everybody that I listened to as far as hip hop was concerned, I had, Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One and the Gang, Eric B. and Rakim, and Run DMC, of course, and LL Cool J, who, by the way, was my hero growing up. Everybody in my neighborhood wanted to be LL Cool J. In fact, we had a friend named Tony who looked like a Lilliputious version of LL Cool J. He was like 5'0". He looked exactly like LL. But we all wanted to be LL Cool J. So there were a few bands from me that I bought albums from that was completely outside of the scope of rap and hip-hop. And those albums were Faith by George Michael, Cherry Bomb by John Cougar Mellencamp, and No Jacket Required by Phil Collins. I can honestly say all three of those albums were like heavy spins in my house growing up or wherever I was staying at the point. But I will tell you this, and I'm going to get some crap from this from all my guy friends. I deserve this. Let me tell you something. If you are one of my buddies, like one of my boys, you know who you are. Scallywags as well. The next time you see me, if you don't rip me for this, you are not my friend. Do you understand me? If you do not rip me for this, I can't consider you one of my buddies. Okay? I had the Dirty Dancing tape on repeat all the time. Now I love that song. I don't care. That whole album was banging. The Dirty Dancing album was banging. I don't care what you say. But if you're a buddy of mine and you don't rip me for that, I got no respect for you. I deserve it. I deserve it. I was singing along with every bit of it. Hungry Eyes. I was singing along with every bit of it. Roland, did you listen to that album? The Dirty Dancing album? Everything about that album was banging. No? You didn't listen to it? You got to listen to it. You fall in love with it. Jason is screaming at me, no! I'm sorry. I have to admit it. It's that good of an album. It is. It's that good of an album. It just is. It's the soundtrack of a lifetime. Hungry Eyes. What's the other song that's on there? Or my favorite song? Goodness gracious. You're the one. Nobody puts Baby in the corner. Oh, man. I love that album. I love everything about that album. Patrick Swayze made his singing debut on that album. So everything about that album was working. Let's go to Ozzy. What's going on, Ozzy? How are you? Ozzy? Okay, Ozzy must have stepped away. That's okay. That's weird, but anyway. Let's go to Lori. Lori's in Glastonbury. Hello, Lori.
You absolutely need to revoke your man card right now. What are you talking about? You think that the Dirty Dancing soundtrack was amazing, but yet you hate the song Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton?
I'm sorry.
Absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Listen to me. That album had one of the best Spanish songs ever known to man. I still don't know what the song is about, but there's a song called Un Toro Un Poco. That's one of my favorite songs. I'm telling you, that album was banging from beginning to end.
Listen, you did a Spanish song, you put on the Gypsy Kings. Do not put on Dirty Dancing. I'm questioning our friendship at this point.
Come on. Listen, as I said before, I'll say it again. I deserve the consternation. I know how horrible it is to admit that I love this soundtrack. Don't think I don't know. I'm well aware of it.
Can we turn the conversation to the top 3 Phil Collins songs?
Absolutely. What do you got?
I like Take Me Home.
Great song.
In the Air Tonight obviously will always be one of them just because it's so iconic.
Yes.
But I also, the third one actually is Another Day in Paradise, I think.
Great song, and I love what they did with the music video, making it about homelessness.
Yeah, I really thought that he did a wonderful job with that, but I also, I love his drumming was amazing.
Yes.
I'm also surprised that you didn't have Scarecrow by John Mellencamp.
Oh, you know what? No, I didn't. It's funny, Cherry Bomb I don't know what it was, but Cherry Bomb really spoke to me as an album. It just did. Okay. I don't know why. I loved every part of it.
You also Dirty Dancing soundtrack, so who's to know?
Look, if you don't think that I deserve what you are throwing at me, I would be dishonest if I said, I tell everybody, I know you're going to rip me for it, but I am absolutely unfazed. I'm telling you, I love this album.
Well, then I'll just pray for you, because clearly...
I don't blame you. You should. And look, I'm the biggest music snob there is, and I still say that I love that album.
Have you listened to Extreme's 3 Sides to Every Story yet?
Yes, and you know what? Great. You know what? Absolutely great work. And I'm one of these people. I'm one of these people who never gave that group a chance, primarily for other reasons, like my first marriage. But you're right. Very, very good stuff by them.
Well, now I have hope.
Okay.
So
I have my moments of weakness, God bless you, Lori.
Take care, sir.
You got it. Now let's go back to Ozzy. It looks like he's back. Hello, Ozzy.
Hey, Rick. I'm Reese. How you doing today?
I'm good, sir. What do you got for me?
I love the category of music that you choose. George Michael, Phil Collins. I just want to let you know, tomorrow, Friday the 6th, is my dear beloved Bob Marley would have been his 84th birthday.
Really?
He died. He died on May 11, 1981. I'm a Bob Marley freak. Okay.
Are you now? Are you a true Bob Marley freak, or are you like?
I am a damn true Bob Marley fan.
Okay, because let me tell you one thing that I grew up with that used to drive me nuts. So everybody I knew, in fact, I used to call it the Lower East Side requirement to be a Bob Marley fan. No one had Bob Marley's albums. They all had one Bob Marley album, and you know which one it is. Tell me, because as a true Bob Marley fan, what was the one album that everybody in every college dorm owned by Bob Marley?
Before I go to that, I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Was it Bob Marley and the Wailers or Bob Marley?
Just Bob Marley.
I would say Not to Dread.
No. The one they had was the compilation album called Legend. Do you remember that?
They made that up after he died.
Yes, exactly. It's the album that everybody has. It's called Bob Marley Legend, and it has every hit or every commercial hit by Bob Marley.
I don't think so. I followed Bob Marley from St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the Caribbean when I was 11 years old.
Yeah, well, I know he's a folk hero. Trust me, I understand.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying that everybody in the East, everybody in the States at a college dorm, they didn't really have Bob Marley albums. They all had that one album, Bob Marley Legend, no matter where you were.
I got every one. Everyone. I still have my vinyls.
Well, that, of course you do, Ozzy. You're a true supporter. God bless you, Ozzy.
Man, I listen to you every day. Take care of yourself, buddy.
Thank you, man. You got it. Let's take Todd in Unionville real quick. Hey, Todd.
Turn in your man card, dude. You're done. I agree with Lori. I'm 100% with Lori. Turn your man card in. There was so much good music, and Dirty Dancing's what you landed on. That's what you landed on. Oh, I was in a rap. I listened to all the... And Dirty Dancing. Okay. Don't you come out of the closet, bro. Turn in that man card. You're done.
Listen to me. I'm telling you. This is how... Listen, I'm going to tell you what. You guys have to respect me more. Now, rib on me. You have to rip me to shreds. I don't blame you. But you got to give me credit. Not a lot of your friends will admit that deep down somewhere in their closet is a Dirty Dancing tape.
That they were listening to disco? You know what I mean? That's where we're going.
I totally deserve it. Thank you, man. You got it. I understand. I get it. I deserve it. I'm not wrong here. You guys, I told you, I wouldn't have told you if I knew you weren't going to tear me to shreds. Chris is in Watertown. How are you doing, Chris?
Hey, afternoon, Reese.
Hey, what's up?
I want to call you next week and talk to you about homeschooling and the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference. But for today, to stay on topic, I just wanted to say that nobody puts Reese in the corner, baby.
You know what? I am going to explain tomorrow why that album is so significant to me, because there's a lot of stuff in there that people forget that make that album great. And I will admit, I watched the documentary not too long ago that was on Netflix about the making of Dirty Dancing, and it turned out to be one of my favorite documentaries last year.
So are you going to watch Dirty Dancing 2 when it comes out then?
No. You never ever mess around with, especially.
I know you don't. You never mess around with a sequel.
Yeah, you never do. Of course not. But people, look, again, I totally appreciate everybody who's going to rip me for this one. I deserve it. I do. I know I do. It was good. It was a lull. It was one little lull in my history. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. Yeah, give me a call next week, man, to talk about homeschooling, because I'm all over that with this new DCF and mandate that the state senator's president is talking about.
Martin Looney.
Martin Looney. That's him. Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
God bless.
You got it. Yeah, I don't blame any of you. I don't blame any of you. Thank you. Melody, thank you. I love your honesty. Of course. Of course I'm going to be truthful to you, to every one of you about that. Now I got to find every one of those songs. Un toro un poco. Un toro un poco. You know, some of you are out there going, yeah, I remember that song. I know you do. Don't lie. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. There it is. Yo quiero probar un toro un poco. Ha! I know that song. Time of my life. There it is. She's like the wind. Patrick. I need a mullet.
Get out of the street, you long-haired panty waist!
You know what? I'm taking it from you. You just lost your black card. After hearing that.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app. Search WTIC News Talk 1080 and tap earlier today to get started.
I will say this, because now I'm loving the fact that I'm getting ribbed for this. I've never been shy about it. I've told plenty of people about the Dirty Dancing thing. But I will tell you this. John Beckman just asked me, he said, I have a feeling you liked Macarena. I hated that song. Hated it. Don't take my little, like my Dirty Dancing thing, like in some way I was reckless with music. I had one time when I was reckless and liked something that was corny. Okay? It's a good movie, whether you like it or not. And I like Jennifer Grey. Okay? That's all it was. I didn't really understand the movie when I was a kid. I don't even know what I was supposed to do. I just know it was dancing. It was good music. That's all I'm saying. But I know it was corny. Don't think I don't know, but I owned it. I've always owned up to the fact that I enjoyed it. But the Macarena is not a thing for me. However, since you mentioned it, I did have another time. With a girl that I was dating at the time. Her name was Brittany. I can say her name. She took me to Toronto. We were at Toronto, and she had me drinking Molson beer. I was about 20-something years old. Can't remember, but we were there and hanging out. And it was a rave. They were playing all of this weird music, and there were lasers and everything there, and I thought it was corny. I said, what is this crazy stuff? She goes, no, we're going to go out, and we're going to go get you a beer. She walks off, and she goes to get a beer. About 15 minutes later, because it was a while, she comes back. She's got 2 beers in her hand, and she's dancing. You know, she's from Buffalo. She loved Toronto. She walks up to me, and she's got 2 beers, and she gives me a beer, and she puts her arms around me, and she gives me a big, fat kiss. I noticed she slipped me something in the kiss. I'm like, hey, what's this? She goes, nah, just be quiet. Swallow it. I went, what? She goes, no, just swallow it. Drink the beer. You're fine. Little did I know, maybe about a half an hour later, I was doing the Bat Tootsie to a Cher record. There I was. Do you believe in love? Nobody recorded it. Nobody caught it on video. But I'm an honest guy. I can tell. Yes, people did see me at a rave in Toronto in the 90s dancing to you. Do you believe in love after love? That was me. Yes. Now we get to Mark Christopher. What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, on tomorrow's program, stay tuned for that because we talk about the $294 million that were spent on the protest in the last year, coming from a slew of individuals, from George Soros to Warren Buffett and Ford. We'll break all of that down tomorrow. Also, just recently was released grand jury testimony that proves, in fact, that there was proof that in Atlanta, ballot harvesting was happening. And we'll have all of that for you tomorrow. We'll talk about it. And, of course, you can call in to discuss it as well at 860-522-WTIC. Tonight, I'm going to go meet with Aaron Stewart to go get them to finalize their involvement in our debate. I'll be seeing them tonight, so I'll ask them about it and get them on the record for it. Also, this weekend, I will be in and around town, from the malls to the diners, talking to people about the $200, and I'll be recording them. So if I come up to you with a cell phone and a recording device in hand asking you about it, please give me your honest answer. How do you feel about the $200, if not $400, that you're going to receive from Ned Lamont? So you'll be seeing me around. So if you see me, just say, hey, that's Reese on the radio, like they used to do with the news van. Come and say hi. and I'll be happy to talk to you. By the way, I got Craig in the corner. He says, I used to watch Dirty Dancing with my girlfriend in college. Learned to really like it. Man card punched. Teresa says, Reese, that's the best soundtrack. I was 16 years old. Teresa, you and I are the same age. I was 16 years old in 1986, and I worked in a video store where we rewound videos, and Platoon and Dirty Dancing and all of those really popular movies came out when I was working there in that video store, and it was awesome. Of course it was awesome. 1986 was one of the best years, right in the middle. I'll go so far as to say the 80s. I don't think that there has been, some kids will say the 90s for them in their teenage years were fantastic, but I don't care. The 80s is absolutely the best decade of any decade. As far as culture was concerned, it was the only time in life, okay? And I want you to think about this. It was the only time in life where the music was so abstract and so good. It was the era where you could have Prince, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Aerosmith, Run DMC, LL Cool J, all at the same time in your jukebox. Your own little personal, it was everything in the 1980s. It was a hodgepodge from top 40 to hard rock. Everything was there. Everybody was famous. I mean, it was bar none. You could get no other era like it in your life or in any lifetime. It was loaded, and the styles were different. I mean, for crying out loud, I had to grow up with Beach Street and Madonna. I had to grow up with, what was the name of that? What was the name of that horrible rapping with Mario Van Peebles? And Crush Groove. The 80s were awesome. Awesome. I don't know what you people are talking about. Jerry, what's going on, Jerry? Okay, no problem. That's all right. Let's go to Bob. Hello, Bob.
Hey, Reese. How you doing?
Good, sir.
Good. Hey, look, I'm calling to defend your honor. I thought Dirty Dancing, the soundtrack with Eric Carmen, was fabulous. And the movie was really good as well. I mean, some of your knucklehead friends should rethink it. That was, Eric Carmen had a great voice.
Yeah.
Too bad what happened to Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
So I go back, I graduated from high school in the 70s.
Okay.
Okay. So I had Earth, Wind, and Fire through the 1980s. Mm-hmm. And, I had a pretty diverse interest in music. I liked pretty much anything that you could dance to.
Right.
And I think for me, what sort of changed was when Madonna said that either she wanted to blow up the White House or have Trump die.
Yeah.
I just refused to listen to her.
Right.
Because, she's in an alternative universe, and her music was great, in 82, 83, 84.
Sure.
When we were all, having a good time, going to the bars, misbehaving a little bit.
Yeah.
But when she did that, man, I tell you what, I just checked out of her.
Didn't you kind of feel betrayed by everything you knew about her?
You know what? I mean, she was a hot babe. Let's face it. She came on the scene, and we're all like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And, but she was a dirty girl, and
it's kind of what we liked about her.
yeah. I mean, that's what we liked about her. But she was. But then, and she had a couple great albums.
Yeah.
And she was great for dancing and snuggling. But when she did that thing about the White House, I'm like, you know what? She's just a freaking idiot.
Yeah,
the other thing I would say about was I go back to the days on TIC when John Rowland was on the radio, and he used to talk about the Happy Bus to New Britain. Where they had that bus line that they put in there.
Uh-huh.
So I would call him about once a month and say, "Hey, John, what's the latest with the bus to nowhere?" And then I also enjoyed Pastor Will, and I don't hear much about him anymore. I think he's still
doing a podcast, but I think it's more involved with what do you call it, with NASCAR now.
Really?
Yeah. Go check him out. Yes.
NASCAR?
That's his thing. That's his thing.
Does he still have the church?
Yes, of course he does.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that was. I mean, there were some good guys, and then there was. I don't know who the person was before you.
Todd Feinberg.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it for me, but I like the fact that you sort of you tell people how you feel about certain things, and you're willing to take a shot, and I think that's good. I really do think that.
Did I grow on you? Did I grow on you?
You know what? Are you from New York?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So you've got a lot of New York in you. I worked in the city in the 80s. I was chumming around with guys like you a lot, and I like guys like that.
Thank you, man.
And I know you full time in Hartford.
Yeah, man. This is the gig.
Good. You know what? I look forward to listening to you in the future. And like I said, tell your knucklehead friends to back off. Dirty Dancing. Let me tell you something. That song, you could do a lot with that song with a single woman.
Hey, what are you talking? Exactly right. I'm telling you,
what?
This is the reason why I know. People know. They're learning it now. Mark Christopher started playing a couple little songs. Even he was going, all right, I'm not going to lie. This is really, really good album. You can't go wrong with it.
Really, and Jennifer Grey, back in her day, she looks like a
should have never gotten a plastic surgery. Let me get some other people in here, buddy. I got to go. Thank you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Let's go to Marie. Marie is in Burlington. Hello, ma'am.
Hey, oh my God! I never laughed so hard when Mark Christopher and you and your freaking banter. That guy is so freaking funny, and so are you.
Thank you.
So are you. Oh my God, I'm dying in my car in driving.
Thank you.
I did not get into an accident, but I almost did.
No, please don't. Absolutely not. Now,
no, I'm lying. I'm a good driver.
I thank you. I'm hoping you are. So, can you honestly say that you didn't like the Dirty Dancing movie? I know you did.
I was 21 years old when that came out.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
So,
yeah, I'm a little bit older than you.
Okay, so you're 21 when Dirty Dancing comes out. And are you the type that would watch that movie 3 or 4 times on video on the VHS?
I probably watched it in my lifetime.
Yeah.
About 30 times.
Goodness great. You know what? Applaud you. Absolutely. And what did you like more? The movie or the music? What did you like more?
Well, I don't know. How can you separate it?
Thank you. Exactly. With no music, it's just a bunch of people wiggling around. That's all it is.
Yeah. So that brings me to a question. What is Dirty Dancing 2 going to look like? Is everybody going to be, like, shaking their butts up and down?
Yeah, I expect it to be more provocative. I think it's going to lose a lot of the original. You know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell everybody to do this. If you can, watch the documentary or the making of Dirty Dancing and how it came to be, because it is a fantastic story about a producer who's pretty much took her own life story going away to this sort of resort that they went to every year, and how she was crazy about this one guy who was the lead dancer of this thing. She just tells a story about her childhood. And they'll break the whole.
I didn't know it was a real thing.
Yeah, it was literally based on her childhood growing up as a young Jewish girl going to this resort that her parents went to every year.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you have to see the documentary. It's amazing, and the whole breakdown. And it turns out, weirdly enough, which I would have expected when I found out when I watched the documentary, it turns out that Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey hated each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, talk about the sign of good acting. These two could not stand each other.
Wow, well, she has bad taste.
You know what? You couldn't be more right. She does have bad taste. So, yeah.
She does.
So go watch.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it tonight, Reese.
Yeah, you're going to love it. I promise you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hey, listen, you and Mark Christopher, you guys are so freaking
It's
funny.
my favorite part of the show, believe it or not. I love it when he chimes in. That's why I do it.
You know what? It's part of my favorite part, too. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Is.
Listen, Reese, if you get too big and move out of Connecticut, don't forget us peons, okay?
Oh, I promise you I never would. Trust me, I'm already... I'll tell you that story another day. God bless you, dear.
Hey, love you.
I love you, too. I can take Tom. I'll take Tom. I've got a minute. What's going on, sir?
Tom, Reese, real quick. I'm Tom, by the way. Real quick. You know what it was about the 80s music? And I'm an 80s guy. I graduated high school in 1989.
Okay.
You know what it is about the music in the 80s? For the most part, 95% of the music, it was about happy things.
Yes.
It was about partying. It was about hanging with your friends. It was about dating girls and meeting girls. It was happiness. It was about just loving life and having happy things. You know when it all changed? When grunge showed up.
Yeah, grunge was really weird. It was grunge and gangster rap out of nowhere. All of a sudden, the entire music industry got depressed.
Yeah, 100%.
Depressed and angry. Kurt Cobain Kurt Cobain comes out and he's like, I hate capitalism. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? It's the best.
Yeah, that's when it changed. When grunge showed up, we went from happy to I hate everything about life.
Like, yeah, exactly. I'm just like, why would you make me be upset about my boombox? It's capitalism. I love my boombox. It's got 2 tape decks.
Exactly. Have a good one, buddy.
Thank you, man. You too. That's absolutely true, man. It was so much fun. He's right. Grunge and gangster rap. All of a sudden, we were supposed to notice everything. Everything is bad. It's so funny. All right, time for me to get up out of here. And thank you, guys. I had a wonderful day today. Thank you, Michael A. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, a pleasant tomorrow, and we will see you back here on Friday. Oh, yeah, Friday for all you weekend warriors out there. Mark.